Oh, you ready to go? So, man, I got this crazy story about what black privilege is, or what some people think black privilege is. So, I had a coworker walk up to me, man. He was mad, amped, right? Hey, man, you guys got so many privileges, man. You're so lucky, man. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, what are you talking about? And he says, it's really a privilege to be black these days. I didn't know to be mad or I didn't, you know what? I just was gonna let him explain it. So I let him explain. He goes, yeah, man, there's black colleges. There's all kind of grants for being black, man. And, and then before he can even say it, I'm trying to stop him. And he goes, slavery was 150 years ago. And you guys are still getting things from that. And then I had to stop him in that rant. And I was just like, yo, yeah, we were slaves for a couple hundred years, beaten, families torn apart, put against each other, uneducated, treated wrongly, treated like worse than the dogs most of the time. We ate the scraps, but we still survived. And I mean, yeah, there was a big war. Let's go down this timeline. Like I gave him the timeline. I said, okay, let's start off with slavery being abolished. There's this big war about slavery, but it's not really. It's really about money. Let's not get that twisted. And slavery's ended. 3 amendments are made. One freeing us, one giving us citizenship, and one giving us the right to vote. And we all know how that last one, we all know how they all went. But then I had to tell him, so you think the next day after slavery was abolished, we just picked up and books and backpacks, went to school and, became lawyers and doctors? I was like, no, you skip up to, from the 1860s, everybody was sharecroppers. Then you move up, you got Jim Crow laws, you got the Ku Klux Klan, you got all these other things that went wrong, man. Literally, people were getting hung on every street. But let's skip that. Let's skip the 30s, 20s. Let's skip this. And let's go up to the 60s. We were still asking for our right to vote. 100 years ago, we were given this, and we're still asking for it. My dad remembers when people had to jump through fucking fire loops just to vote. So 100 years passed by, something that we were promised, we didn't get it, and we're fighting for it. They kill our leaders. And when I say they, I was not trying to put it on just white people in general, but at the time, this is what it was. But kill our leaders, sick doggos out on us. We fought back with peace mostly. And that was the 60s. Skip that. Let's go to the 80s. Crack cocaine. Crack cocaine put black people back 15 years, man. It literally did. Great neighborhoods went to nothing because of it. Mass incarceration. Many people's fathers, mothers, whoever went to jail for 20 years plus for being broke and trying to make a living. And I mean, even if it was illegal, but they were getting time, they were getting more time than killers. So, after explaining this to him, I was just like, okay, let's look at my generation, I guess it isn't that bad, I mean, we just got judges giving us 2 to 3 times the time for half the crime. It's almost 3% of African Americans of our population in prison right now. Cops are killing kids, grown black men, and going home with paid leave. But we're sitting at home laying over the body and crying and grieving over this person. And I looked at him and I was just like, and that's what you call black privilege. That's you're looking at the couple of $1,000s I get for school, or the schools down in the South I can go to a lot easier than you can. And that's what you call privilege. A little piece of life, just that little piece right there that you're crying about. That's our privilege against everything else. But I guess, man, no, I mean, maybe that is our privilege. I mean, I don't know. You let me know. Black privilege.